Let's move on to our last team. And I want to thank them for having waited until the very last moment. But without further ado, we go to Benin with le Baromètre.
Thank you very much. My name is, and I'm here today to tell you how we intend to bring data and evidence at your fingertips. If you ever wonder why we're doing this, it's simply because there is a problem. There is a serious problem. Since the independence in most of the low and middle income countries, opinion is more used than evidence to inform policy. And this leads to poor policy design, low investment, ill decision-making, and as you can imagine, ineffective projects and programs. At the end of the day, poverty barely decreases. There's social unrest everywhere. Disease breaks very often. Frustration mounts up, migration, and the most dangerous of it is extremism. Would and should my generation wait and watch that? We think no. That's why we actually design a solution that we think can help improve or solve the problem. What is that solution? It's a digitalized monitoring and impact evaluation system that is fully integrated and dynamic. This will improve the use of evidence in policy design and implementation, so that at the end of the day, we have an improvement of lives. You may wonder, how does it work? Well, the first step of all this is that we designed the M&E system. We integrated how to actually calculate indicators behind the system. Following that, data are collected and entered. The second step is the data analysis application that we've developed. Through that system, evidence is generated, and our IT experts produce dashboard and geoportal visuals that can be seen. All this is in the back office. What you will have in your hand is the front office, where from your mobile phone, you can see how is SDGs dynamic. How are they changing in your community? Beyond that, we can also help you track projects in order to make decisions, in order to inform policies. The value added of our work is that we do all this by bringing data and evidence in real time. We do all this using geoportal and maps to let them speak. We do all this using statistics charts. But we do not just provide individual and isolated application. We provide an all-in-one digitalized M&E system. We customize our system, and we also make sure that our solution is affordable by using locally available expertise. The market size is huge. From our estimation, more than 100,000 projects are in Francophone West Africa, waiting at municipality and public administration level. More than 1,300,000 potential customers are waiting for us in low and middle income countries. Our estimated for the regional development banks is around 2,000 projects. You can see that the sky is our limit. And when we analyze the competition, well, unlike our competitors, we provide a fully integrated package model. We customize our M&E apps, and we are capable of tracking SDGs at municipality level. Beyond all that, we have a continuous capacity building system integrated to our product. We also give them the cloud service where they can buy our server space. And beyond all, we now start a negotiation with tablet production industry so that we provide Baromètre tablets for M&E. The roadmap is such that we've now completed our product idea and prototype. We are at the demo phase. And luckily, recently, thanks to Clear Francophone Africa, thanks to the regional development program on nutrition, we now start providing evidence through the system. And this is just the beginning, as at the end of the day, we will become the Google of evidence. This is done by a dream team, a multidisciplinary team comprised of development economists, statistician, cartographer, and developers. If you want to know more about Le Baromètre, please get in touch with us. Thank you very much for watching.
Fantastic, Dale. This was really great. I love the presentation. But let's hear from our judges if they have any comments or feedback to provide to you.
I'd like to, can I come in?
Yes, please.
I'd like to understand a bit more how the front end of the app works. You've talked a lot about the back end, but what are the requirement needs for the users in terms of entering data, defining indicators, relations to the SDGs, etc.
Thank you very much, Sophie. Well, the way the back office works is fairly simple, in the sense that if you will come to your project, we will take your log frame, and based on your log frame, we will look at your indicators, our evaluators. Like I myself, I'm a senior evaluator. So we'll take your indicator and ask you questions about how you will calculate them. Thereafter, we will develop the algorithm and request our IT team to build in the algorithm for your project. And our geographers will then develop in parallel the maps that we need for you. So that's how the whole system is some sort of ready to go. Whenever you enter data and we activate it, automatically it will actually generate evidence that you see in your hands, because we do the job before the fight starts.
Yeah, Michael.
Thank you for the interesting presentation. It would seem that to be able to address the kind of questions you're talking about, including the SDGs, you'd need a very large amounts of data. So I was wondering, how exactly are you collecting data? Are you going to be having large-scale surveys? Are you just collecting data remotely, or just how can you get the amount of data which you need, and how can you ensure the quality of the data?
Thank you, Michael. Well, your question clearly sounds like you've been with us when we were at the preparatory phase. Actually, we consider two types of data here. We have secondary data on education, on maternal health, and allied. So what we do there is that if the Ministry of Health, for instance, requests us to build this system for them, their agents on the ground will have the first app, which is all about data entry. So that's where they will enter their data. Now, if, for instance, as we have experienced here recently, you are running a very big project and you do not have a team on the ground, say, soya production, you want to increase soya production in Benin or Brazil. Well, what happens there is that we have a team of data collectors. We have a team of enumerators that we send on the ground to do this. You may wonder, how do we do this? In reality, Le Baromètre is born by the African Institute of Monitoring and Evaluation. And over the past few years, with the World Bank, namely the Gender Innovation Lab, we've collected data, primary data on the ground. I did this in Niger with team members. We did this in Congo in humanitarian context. We've been doing this in Benin. So we know how to actually develop a questionnaire, use survey solutions and the other, but they're not integrated. And that's where our value added comes. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Issa, you wanted to come in?
Yes, thank you, Dio, for the presentation. I think just to double down on Michael's question, I think that the question is not per se the data collection part, but how are you gonna measure contribution to the SDGs? This is something that we are struggling, and I would like to hear from you if you have a solution. I'm a taker, because this is something that we all grappling with. How are we measuring contribution to the SDGs? So how are you coming up with making that link? Not only the data collection part, we got that, but the measurement of the contribution to the SDGs is why I'm struggling with. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Issa. Well, the way we do this is actually by, first of all, mapping the stakeholders of SDGs in Benin, where we piloted the idea. And when we mapped these stakeholders, one of the most important stakeholders is the National Direction of SDGs Monitoring. And they have a reference book where the definition of SDGs by the country, the way they calculate the algorithm, and the variables that are used to calculate the SDGs, each of the indicators are actually put in that book. So we use that reference book to sort of break down the indicator into variables that contribute to calculate it. And at the pilot phase, we went into a commune here called Alada. We went to the Alada commune where we collected the smallest variable that is needed. And that smallest variable, once it's collected from the ground, the second app where our solution, the data is processed, once the data entered, they say you send 3 variables in, V1, V2, and V3. If V4 is equal to the average of V1, V2, and V3, then automatically V4 generates the evidence about that specific indicator. But the problem persists is the quality of data that we enter into the system. And that's where we actually develop a back check system that at least helps improve the quality, because the National Institute of Statistics was quite critical on that aspect of data quality. That's the solution we put forward. We've been in touch with the poverty. There's a poverty analysis group at Oxford University that we got in touch with to help us on innovative way to work on data quality. But Le Baromètre is not really, I mean, data quality issue is not just specific to Le Baromètre, the solution we put forward. It's a general problem. We will contribute to improve on it. Thank you.
Do we have some roller drums right now? Because we're about to...
Yeah.
Okay. No, let's wait. There you go. 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 So we have an honorable mention first, and the honorable mention goes to drums. Honorable mention goes to Le Baromètre as the second qualification here for the first cohort of the GEI Launchpad. So congratulations to Le Baromètre